You heard many people talk about credit scores and how important they are. Right? What's up with them? Why is it that important? And even if you know that it is important, how can you improve them? What you will find here in this video is why it's important and the 5 most efficient ways to increase your credit scores so you can speed up your road to financial independence. Before you start, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any video about personal finance and investing. A credit score is a scale that measures how creditworthy each person is. In simple words, it's a tool for institutions to see how well people pay back their debt. For you personally, it might only be a tool to get a loan, but it goes beyond banks and them lending you money. What many people don't know is that it's used by many institutions. The following things are affected by your credit score: getting a loan or credit card, the interest rate you pay on a loan, the insurance premium or coverage you pay. Depending on the job, some employers can check new hires' credit score as a measure for responsibility. Utility companies can force you to pay a deposit if you have a bad credit score. Landlords may refuse you based on your credit scores. Debt collectors use your address and employer information to collect debt from you. Public assistance from government agencies, like child support. Any entity with a court order can get your credit report and credit score. Other than that, nobody can pull your credit score or report just off the internet. In your credit report, you can see who has been inquiring your credit score, so keep track of that. So, we know now that credit scores are very important, but what type of credit scores are there? Credit scores are used everywhere around the world, and most countries have similar ways of calculating it. In the U.S., there are 2 types of credit scores: the FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation, score and VantageScore. 1. FICO. FICO was developed in 1989. The FICO score is very well known and standardized in the U.S. It has several versions. Of them, FICO 8 is the most widely used. Ultra FICO is for people with new credit. Both have a score in between 300 to 850. You can see FICO's most important factors below. Check out myfico.com for most information. 2. VantageScore. There are several versions of this score, but the most popular is the VantageScore 3.0, released in 2013, because it makes it easier to calculate scores with limited credit history, even though VantageScore 4.0 was released more recently in 2017. This score ranges from 300 to 850 and takes into account the following factors. You can find more information at VantageScore.com. Comparing FICO to VantageScore, we can say that VantageScore was developed by all 3 credit bureaus in the U.S., while FICO is bureau-specific. More on that later. This means you only have one VantageScore, while your FICO score at the 3 credit bureaus might differ. A good FICO score is 670, while VantageScore has a good threshold of 700, although the definition of good is subjective. See both ranges here. Scoring factors are similar, but some weights of categories differ, like payments history accounts for 35% of FICO, while 40% of VantageScore. The most well-known and used is the FICO score, especially for home mortgages. While there are 2 types of credit scores, there are 3 credit bureaus in the U.S. that take all your financial information and calculate the FICO and Vantage scores. These are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Many banks provide your credit score for free, like banks providing your score on your credit card statement. An alternative is Discover, who is trying to provide free FICO scores for everyone. You can also pay on FICO or VantageScore's own website to get a particular credit score. As mentioned before, each country has its own credit bureaus that calculate credit scores. Here are some examples. UK, Experian, Equifax, Call Credit, credit reference agencies. US, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, Credit Bureau. Australia, Experian, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet and Tasmanian Collection Service. India, Credit Bureau Information India, CIBIL, a TransUnion partner. So, as we have seen, the credit score mainly consists of 6 areas. 1. Payment history. 2. Length of your credit history. 3. Percentage of credit limit used. 4. Total balance and the mix of types of credit. 5. Recent credit behavior. 6. Available credit. Here, the biggest factor is paying on time, while the second most important factor is your credit utilization. Not all of them are as effective as the other, but out of the many ways, here are the 5 most quick and effective improvements you can make. 1. Pay bills on time. This may seem simple, but it's the most effective way, as it is the most important factor for both FICO and VantageScore. Make sure you are never late, and if you are late for some reason, try to make it less than 30 days late. 2. Strategically pay back and use your credit card balance. You want to make sure your balance is low when the credit report is issued, because that's what is used in calculating your score. In order to do this, just pay down the balance before the billing cycle ends, or pay several times throughout the month to always keep your balance low. Use a maximum of 30% of the limit. People with the highest credit scores even use a much lower utilization rate, 7%. 3. Ask for higher credit limits while maintaining the same utilization. When you ask for a higher credit limit but utilization stays the same, your rate of utilization automatically goes down. 4. Check your credit reports for errors. I know it might sound illogical, but this is a very fast way to improve your scores by correcting any mistakes. You will be surprised how often mistakes are being made. 5. Become an authorized user. If a friend or family member has a high credit score, ask to be added as an authorized user. In this way, you can benefit from that user's positive credit history. Especially if you are new with a credit score, it can help you a lot. Of course, having access to the other person's card is something you have to discuss with that person. The measures just mentioned are fixes you can do relatively fast. You will most likely see the effect in 30 days after your next credit report. Make sure you read your credit report carefully and set your payment alerts well. We can agree that credit scores are important. It's an important tool for your financial independence. Ignoring your credit score will make it very hard to become financially independent. We saw that credit scores are used throughout the world. Even though we focused on the US here, the principles of most countries are the same. The key elements of a credit score are: 1. Payment history. 2. Credit utilization. 3. Length of credit history, where recent credit behavior weighs heavier. 4. Your total balance and the mix of your credit. 5. New and available credit. We also talked about improving your score, so if you want to make improvements, you need to focus on these 5 things first. 1. Pay bills back on time. 2. Pay and utilize your credit card balance strategically. 3. Ask for higher credit limits. 4. Check your credit report for errors. 5. Become an authorized user. These are the actions you can undertake within the coming 30 days, so go and take action. If you don't already monitor your credit score, go and check it out now. If you find it hard to start and don't know what credit score to start with, don't worry. Start with the most well-known FICO score and take it from there. In the end, you will most likely need both of them. Remember, this is key to your financial independence. Before you leave, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and get more of these useful financial videos in your inbox.